I'll yield 5 minutes to my friend, Mr. Higgins from New York.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Young, thank you very much for being here. You know, all of America experienced and the world experienced a pandemic beyond human comprehension, unprecedented. The lives that were lost throughout the world, in this country, the money that was lost, Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, under a Republican administration initially, had to come up with something to save the American economy, to save the world economy, and to save a lot of lives. And we did what we had to do. Under the previous administration, the debt ceiling was increased 3 times. $8 trillion of debt was accumulated during that period of time. Are we in a period of uncertainty right now? Yes, we are, of course. Coming out of a pandemic for 36 months, with all the money that both Democrats and Republicans supported, we had too much money chasing too few goods. Consequently, we had inflation that was very high. Bloomberg Analytics did a series with all of their economic columnists to talk about the Biden administration and the 10 metrics by which it will be judged. And the initial narrative said that Biden is on track to become the greatest jobs-producing president in the history of America. 12 million jobs created in 2 years, more than any administration in a period of 4 years. The unemployment rate down to 3.4%, the lowest in 54 years. Yes, inflation is still high, but the forecast, based on Bloomberg Analytics, is that this time next year, the inflation rate will be at 2.25%, normal by historical standards. So we have a budget that's been proposed by the administration that is $6.9 trillion. We have a $23.5 trillion economy. That budget is nearly 30% of the entire economy. If we were to default on this budget, as some are threatening, you would see $20,000 lost in retirement savings by every American. You would see the stock market fall by 1/3. You would see the elimination of $12 trillion of family savings, 2.6 million jobs lost, and the economy would drop by 5%. The responsible thing to do is to come up with a budget that people can live with, but can also help grow the economy. I would submit that the Biden budget, if it does one thing that is clear and compelling, it is investing in the growth of the American economy. This is, in fact, what we need after 36 months of hell. So the chairman spoke of issues of lawlessness and chaos, and there are several budget proposals that I've reviewed. One by the Republican Study Committee plan. It would balance the budget in 10 years. To do so, and by the way, 173 of 122 Republican House members are part of the Republican Study Committee. To do so, you would have to cut Social Security by 4%, Medicare by 24%, Medicaid, child health insurance by 49%, other spending, food assistance, farm subsidies, military retirement, anti-poverty programs, 60%, veterans health, transportation, education, law enforcement, 49%. If they were to, and there's several plans out there, but if you're not hitting Social Security and Medicare, which you are in this plan, let's say you just take those off the table in military spending. What does that do to the law enforcement budget to address the lawlessness and chaos that the chairman speaks of?
Well, I gave the ranking member a list of things that we call non-defense discretionary. I noted FBI, other law enforcement like Marshal Service, billions of dollars in grants to state and local law enforcement agencies. CBO has looked at proposals that would, if they did not touch Social Security and Medicare, and you want to balance in 10 years, those things go away in non-defense
Excuse me,
discretionary.
the federal funding for law enforcement agencies, that's like the COPS program?
That is correct. COPS, Burn Jag, the whole host of things that go out to state and local law enforcement prosecutors from the Department of Justice budget.
So it would adversely affect law enforcement and the prosecution of criminals.
Well, you wouldn't have more cops in the beat. This president's asked for 100,000 more. You couldn't do that, and you'd also lose.
I
Thank
thank
you.
the
Yield back.
gentleman
Thanks.
from New York. And now